What's up? It's Imran and you're watching Imran Plus. Welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. If you're new here, thanks so much for clicking. Make sure you click that subscribe button while you're here. Man, does Disney know how to put on an event. Today, for Disney Plus Day, we got a lot of treats for us to talk about. And I mean, when it rains, it pours. From Disney MCU proper to Marvel throwbacks like the X-Men to some Star Wars goodies. We are going to talk about it all right here. And in this video, we're going to talk about Moon Knight first. So who is Moon Knight? I'm not very familiar with this character actually. I first started getting introduced to him when they made the first announcement that Moon Knight was coming to the MCU. And so some of you might know more than me at this point, but you know, I looked into it and I am getting more familiar with the character. And so Moon Knight is a guy named Mark Spector. He is the son of a Jewish rabbi. And I don't know if you recall, but when people were casting the character, it was very important that we casted, it was very important to people that the character be Jewish, and I agree with that completely. That's why I wasn't sure about Oscar Isaac, but it seems like he does have Jewish heritage, and so we'll see how that turns out. But I mean, he's such a fan favorite these days, so I feel like he will be fine. But Mark Spector is the son of a Jewish rabbi, and he's also a former Marine and CIA operative. So this puts him in a unique position in a personal conflict between what morality is and what violence is, and the relationship between the two, if there is one, and his personal feelings toward each of them. So I think that's going to be a very interesting part of this show if they decide to explore that. What makes him special is that in the comics, Dr. Al-Arun was killed, and their daughter was abducted. This was an archaeologist's daughter named Marlene Al-Arun. But basically, Mark goes and saves Marlene, and in the fight, he's killed, but he's brought back from the grave by an Egyptian moon god named Khonshu. This is the crux of the character, is that he has this like spiritual relationship / is possessed by this moon god, and hence the name Moon Knight. It's later revealed though that Khonshu is actually real and is an entity or a being from a different universe called the Other Void. So it's a different dimension where these beings were worshipped as gods by ancient Egyptians. I think that that's very interesting because we know that the multiverse is coming, and so I think it's very smart of them to play into these mythologies by having them be alternate worlds or universes, and ones that we could potentially visit now that the door has been opened. So I think that's going to be really cool. And then the other core part of Mark Spector's character is that he has dissociative identity disorder, and that's between his Mark Spencer ego and then his alter ego Moon Knight. But it's interesting that he also has two other alter egos that he uses to gain information depending on who he's with and what social circle he's around, and that is a businessman named Stephen Grant and a taxi cab driver named Jake Lockley. So I think we get a hint of that in that little teaser, and so we'll talk about it then. In terms of his powers, he doesn't really have any, and so often he's compared to DC's Batman, but if Batman was actually was dealing with mental issues, some say Batman probably is, and I think he probably is, but it's not ever really explored in the comics. It will be in the Batman movie though, but here it's like if Batman had dissociative identity. And so he has like just basic abilities and like some advanced tech, but he has been resurrected numerous times by Khonshu. And so I wonder if that whole like immortality thing is going to be an aspect here. And he has in the past been enhanced with abilities depending on the phases of the moon. And so I think that's a very interesting concept. I think, you know, playing with the idea of being connected to the moon and the properties of the moon, similar to how waterbenders are in the Avatar: Last Airbender, I think would be really cool and a great way to give him some supernatural abilities. In terms of the show is going to be directed by Mohammed Diab, who is an Egyptian director, and his work is often centered around Egyptian society and peoples. And the issues concerning them. I think his film was very influential in the Egyptian Revolution, and so that is going to be really cool because I think that will bring some authenticity to the show because it is very heavy on Egyptian culture and ancient history. And then, like I said, May Kalamaui is going to be in the show. She is from Rami, playing Rami's sister. I really liked her in that show. I think she's a standout there, and so I think she also adds some authenticity, and I think is most likely playing Marlene Alaroon, and will probably be Moon Knight, Mark Spector's like sidekick / romantic interest. Depends what direction they go in. Ethan Hawke is in this. I'm not sure who he could be. Maybe he's playing Khonshu. Maybe he's the voice of Khonshu. I don't know if he can play Khonshu. That might be problematic. He could be someone from Mark's military past. I have no idea, and so that's going to be a surprise, and they're keeping it a surprise, so we'll see. Moon Knight. Okay, here we go.
I can't tell the difference between my waking life.
Is that Oscar Isaac speaking?
Dreams. The voice.
Oh my god. That's just nice. Wow. Wow. So now let's take a look at the actual, some of the shots of the teaser that they gave us. So we start off with him waking up in this area, and this is where I mentioned the other two personalities, because if you look, when he is walking away after looking into this exhibit, you see two shadows. You see two shadows still standing there. And so Mark Spector walks away and he looks back at these two shadows. And so maybe that's a hint to his two personalities that he will have in like societal life, because I think this is before he becomes Moon Knight. And so that's really cool. I like that a lot, actually. I feel like it gives us the tone of what this show is going to be like. This is interesting because it looks like he's in a costume, but this is not his actual Moon Knight costume, which we will see later. So I wonder if this is maybe him, maybe when he's having a psychosis and he thinks he's Moon Knight, or something along those lines. I'm not sure. He seems to be in public. That's a bus, so I'm not sure, but that I thought was a really interesting shot. And then so more shots of him looking paranoid here. This is going to be, I think this was a big shot. These next two shots are like the cellars, but right before we turn into this bathroom, there's a poster on the back that says Ancient Egypt. And so you can see that there's definitely that Egyptian influence, and it's going to be heavily based on ancient Egyptian history. Now we're going to look at the biggest, like the most important shot, this in the bathroom. There he is. There is Moon Knight. And I like how it's dark and you can see the blinking lights. It's dark and then it illuminates him and he's in white and we just see the back of him. Like he seems to be punching someone. I'm not really sure. There's a lot of damage though. So this is probably right after a fight. So that's going to be really cool to watch. Now this is also corresponding to a leaked image that had been released earlier this year that showed the Moon Knight costume. I won't put it here because I don't want to spoil it for you, but that was an amazing leak. It like revealed this costume and it looks amazing, and this matches that. And another shot that we're going to see later at the end, and I think so that was true. And so his costume looks really, really cool, and I think there's going to be more like a supernatural aspect to it when it moves, and like there's like some shadowiness that's going to be very, very cool. And I think the way they've realized this is very impressive. So that's going to be awesome. I look forward to that. And then now here, the moon shot. That's beautiful. And I like that it's the reflection in the water, because of course the moon and the water are connected. as anyone who's seen Avatar knows. So I think those concepts are going to be here as well. And of course, it's the crescent, it's that phase of the moon. And because, that's kind of the logo. So I think that was really cool. And we get a shadow glimpse of him running, but then here we see him running across the building and jumping across. I don't know how he's going to make that. Is this even happening? Is he just imagining this part? That's the question with Moon Knight. A lot of it is like, what's in his head and what's real. So, and he even says that line in here, and I think they're going to really play with that. But I think this looks really cool. So we get our logo, and so that's like kind of the teaser, but there's a few quick shots that we see later on that I thought revealed more than I was expecting. And so here we have a really good look at his costume. We don't get the full thing, but this again matches that leak that was released. And so, which is strange, there's a lot of leaks coming out of Marvel these days, but I think this costume looks awesome. It's very different, and I like that the costumes are beginning to look different in Marvel after Eternals. But you can see on the cape we have some ancient hieroglyphs that are kind of lighting up or shimmering, and I think that's cool. And then I like the wraps on his gauntlets and like his biceps. I think that adds to like the Egyptian-ness of it, and like, it alludes to ancient mummies, and I think that's a really cool concept. Of course, it's white like the moon. I think the wraps really add to it. There's like some gold there on his like wrist and shoulder. You can see that's from the comics as well, but I really like it. I like the engraving on there, and I just love how the cape flows. I'm a cape person. I know Edna Mode says no capes, and if superheroes were real, that's true, but I'm a viewer. I'm watching a movie, and so I want capes. Give me the capes. Give me Zack Snyder flowing capes. And then we get a glimpse of this person being dragged into the cave, but yes, that looks like May Calamaui, and so this might be when she's abducted and then Mark Spector goes in to save her. So that all but confirms it for me. And here we see Oscar Isaac kind of like doing something with his face where he seems like he's going in and out of different personalities, different characters. And then we pan out and we see he's beat up all these people. And of course, that lady and her child remind me of that SpongeBob meme. That's funny, actually. But yeah, it looks like he's like back to being Mark or someone else, and he doesn't know what he's done. And these people are passed out around him, and everyone's like, oh, what did you just do? But this is good because this is going to be exploring like the whole concept of his mental health issues. So that's cool. I like that, and I think that's going to be a recurring thing. I think he's going to not know what he's doing. And look, his hand's bloody. Is that a ring on his finger? I'm not sure. Overall, I'm really excited to see it. I mean, I of course don't have like knowledge going into this, and so this is really, really exciting for me because I'm kind of going new with everyone else. There's not very many Moon Knight fans, but there are a core amount, and I think they look like they are having a good time as well. So it seems like they are going for it. They're really going all the way, both for the mystical and supernatural aspects as well as the mental health disorder aspects. So hopefully both of them are done carefully and respectfully. I also think that this might actually be setting up like a supernatural team at Marvel, or like at least a supernatural space, because Moon Knight first appeared in Werewolf by Night. We have rumors that Marvel is working on a Halloween special that is likely to be Werewolf by Night. I mean, they're doing regionally appropriate casting for that, and so that's really exciting. Will we see him in this? Probably not, but will we see Blade? We know we're getting Blade very soon, and 2023 is so far away, and Mahershala Ali was cast so long ago. I feel like we have to get him in sooner. And so I think that he might show up in this show. I hope so, at least. But yeah, I think this looks really exciting, looks really good. Let me know what you thought. What did you think of Moon Knight? What do you think of Oscar Isaac in this role? Are you excited? What do you think about the whole supernatural aspects? And if you're a Moon Knight fan, does this look like the material that you're such a fan of? And what did you think of Disney Plus Day overall? Let me know in the comments, and let me know what your favorite clip or teaser was. A lot more videos coming very, very soon, so hang around. But in the meantime, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you don't miss any videos. Make sure you like this video and share it with your friends, fellow movie enthusiasts, and all your Marvel fans. I'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye.